Renewable energy is a huge term, and scientists have created sustainable energy from thin air. And we were talking about this quite a bit because it's something I was super excited about. And the headline is not a joke. So it's hydrogen energy, which currently today is one of the safest and most sustainable energy forms on the planet. So the challenge is that geographically, the renewable distribution of freshwater availability poses a threat. Because at the end of the day, it does utilize water. So there is not enough. At the moment, the UK, with the technology we have, we know that we couldn't run on hydrogen there, because I think in my episode with Professor Pericles, he said there's actually not enough freshwater lake systems. So there has to be new solutions, and people shouldn't think of hydrogen energy as that's it. You need to combine hydrogen with solar, with wind, biomass, all that kind of stuff. So in this paper, authors demonstrated a method of direct hydrogen production from the air on site. Now I'll post like a graph up in a second, but they capture fresh water from the atmosphere using a hydroscopic electrolyte and electrolysis powered by solar or wind with, and for the nerds, the current density is up to 574 MA/cm square meters. So I don't really know what that means too much. But the prototype was established and operated for 12 consecutive days with a stable performance. So this is tested on a certain scale. Now, it can work. So this is the first question you gave me is, it can only work in like tropical areas. But actually, it works down to an area with 4% moisture. So it can operate in most environments. Now, given that it's operated with solar, it's fully off the grid, self-sufficient. Now, for those nerdy enough like me, I'm going to read off the description of what the actual contraption is. So the module consists of a water harvesting unit in the middle and electrodes on both sides paired with gas collectors. The module is integrated with a power supply, for example, a solar panel, a wind turbine, and any other renewable generators. Importantly, the water harvesting unit also serves as a reservoir to hold the electrolytes. A porous medium such as melamine sponge, sintered glass foam is soaked with deliquescent ionic substances to absorb moisture from the air via the exposed surfaces. I won't read too much on, but I'll put it on the website. If you picture like two platforms and then a sponge in the middle.
Okay.
That's the easiest way when I'm looking at it, I can explain. And there's a lot of math that they've done, and a concern you raised the moment I told you is the same concern that Professor Pericles raised when I emailed him about the invention. And that is simply that if you take water from somewhere, it's coming from somewhere.
And if it's, if water is in the air, it's surely needed to be in the air. So are we just drawing from one resource to give to another when we,
Correct. That hasn't been proven, but there is, a decent hypothesis theory behind that. Because if you, for example, put this in Cairns, tropical North Queensland, there is a river stratosphere that actually takes clouds to the desert and gives places like Alice Springs, Cooper Pedy much needed rain through the mountain ranges. So if you install something that's in Cairns where it's tropical, it's going to have quite a lot of moisture bringing in urine.
And that's all thanks to the Daintree rainforest, really.
Correct, yes. You're in risk of, potentially removing a lot of potential rain from these areas that very, very much need it.
Just hurting that ecosystem.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's why I haven't put this in the good news segment, because it is a very, very cool, one-of-a-kind contraption with potential downsides.
Yeah. More research required.
More research required.